Thank you very much, colleagues. Good morning. Am I on? Here we go. So if I knew I was going to have to follow such a tough act as Victor, I probably wouldn't have followed it. So I have been asked to come and give us a few words of encouragement. So the first time that I was part of a Secunda shutdown was in 2005. And I was on the other side of the fence. I came here as a young man fresh from university. I was employed by a supplier on the turbo project, and we were building the polypropylene plant. And we actually took part in my first shutdown then. So I also cycled out of the system, much as Victor did, and I was involved in turnarounds all across the country. Many of the same places where Victor was. I've worked on separate, I've worked on engine, worked on the power stations, even on the Astron refinery, on the turnaround there. And the best turnarounds that I've experienced in my career have been here. I think the reason for that is because there is so much that Sasol puts into these turnarounds and these shutdowns. There's so much pre-work that goes into it. And I think that is why they are such successful shutdowns as well. So this year's shutdown is another first for me, because it is the first Sasol Secunda shutdown where I'm wearing a Sasol overall. So I have now progressed from the left side of the fence to the right side, and I am now part of the Sasol team. So this is my first September shutdown from this viewpoint. Now, when I was asked to actually come and give some words of encouragement, it took me quite some time to think about what am I going to say to these colleagues of mine here. And it got me thinking. About 2 weeks ago, when I returned home from work, my son, at the ripe old age of 10, decided that it was the perfect time to ask his father, "Daddy, why do you work?" So, with my son being 10 years old, me and the wife are now at a place where we're trying to teach him the value of money. And where do all the nice things come from? So I sat the young man down and I had a nice chat with him, and I said to him, "You know what, I have to work for all of the things that you enjoy. Your video games, going to school, and all of these nice things. Daddy has to work so that we can have these things." I gave myself a good pat on the back afterwards, and I thought, I've got a good message that I now gave through to the young man. And then when I started thinking about this question, why do we work? I started thinking, but it can't just be for that. The people of my age group, and even the guys that are a little bit older than me, came into the working environment with very set goals. And we thought, we want to have a house and a family, and we want to put the kids through school, and we want to be able to retire, maybe get a boat, a house at the sea. But in the Sasol environment and in the working environment we have today, those are not the most general goals anymore. Forbes did quite a good and interesting study on the Generation Z and the millennial people that are in our workforces today. And they asked them exactly the same story, the same question. Why do you want to work? They came up with a very interesting answer. And their answer is to affect the lives of the people around me, to have an influence. So that's a lot different than what I thought when I started working. But now I went and I thought about it, and I looked at this concept. And it actually echoes what Victor said earlier. So, being an IR guy, not very good with figures. I always say if I could have done math, I would have been an engineer. But unfortunately, so just a few figures that I want to share with you today. There's currently 45,000 people that we have badged for this turnaround. And we're not done. There's still a lot that have to come in the next 9 days that we've got left. So according to Stats SA, those 45,000 people are the breadwinners for an additional 6 people each within this local community of ours. So the direct influence that this shutdown has is 270,000 people. Don't check me, I said I'm not good at math. We have within resource management on the hired equipment side 4,500 items of equipment that we've mobilized. We as Sasol are responsible for 40% of the country's petrol. So the last stats I was able to get out of the Department of Transport was we have about 11 million road users. Those stats are old. But just taking that into consideration, we supply petrol to 4.5 million people. None of that can happen if we are not successful on our shutdown. If we cannot maintain the integrity of this plant, and if we cannot produce what we need to produce, day in, day out, 24/7. So my words of encouragement to this forum and to the suppliers that we engage and speak to is simply that we have an incredible effect as Sasol on the lives of the people around us. We have to ensure that this plant maintains its integrity, that we have a successful shutdown to keep having that influence on our fellow man. I haven't even spoken about the additional chemicals that we design, that we sell, which is in everything from hand sanitizer to toothpaste. The jet fuel that we design that enables us to travel. So Sasol has a finger in almost every pie. And we have to make sure that we can continue delivering that service and having that effect. Those are my words of encouragement. And if my son asks me again why I work, I think I'm going to give him a little bit of a different answer. But that's what I want to leave you with. Don't forget the impact that we have. And we can only have that impact if we are successful in this turnaround. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.